Hello and welcome to Daily Politics, reaching you from Trust TV here in Abuja. I am Suleiman. Today we are discussing the internal crisis across the state chapters of the APC. Welcome back. This is Daily Politics, and now let's get to the discussion proper. Thank you and welcome, gentlemen. Thank you. This is an APC issue, which is why it was important for us to get someone within the party. And we're so lucky to get a big fish, someone who might in fact become the APC's next chairman. So we begin with you. You have in Imo State 3 speakers of the House in 2 short years. How does that happen? And what does that say for a ruling party?
Good afternoon, Nigerians. With due respect, I think you got the wrong big fish, because I'm trying to come in as a national chairman. It's not be right for me to start appraising or criticizing who are there. Definitely don't misinterpret.
But these will be issues that you'll be dealing with.
I'll be dealing with it by God's grace, and by the grace of God, we will not have such things. One thing I want to ensure that we solve instantly when we get there is this crisis. For example, we had no business allowing the crisis in Rivers State, for example, Kwara State, Osun State, and the rest to get to congresses. It's like being resolved before we got there. And by God's grace, I am in the national headquarters. We will resolve the crisis.
But what the viewers would want to know, not necessarily what you do when that time comes, but what are the issues? As an insider, what are the issues? What are the causes of this kind of crisis?
Definitely, people just don't want to believe that God is there for them. Nigerians pray a lot. But after praying, we tell people to stay aside, want to help ourselves. Now, the kind of person I've been since my ACN days, even before then, I was world delegate in SDP 1990. I contested for the House of Reps, Yola North, Yola South, Gire, under the UNCP, 1998.
Thank you. Let me...
I did not allow such to just believe in God. Don't want to force your desires on people. Follow democracy. Think about the country first. That is lacking, I think. But I won't say much because I'm coming in and I don't want to be seen to be criticizing people who are there before I come in.
Okay. Sir, what are the issues? Why do we not have political maturity that he has talked about? Is it the rules, or is it the politicians, or is it the game, or is it the rules of the game, or the players of the game?
For me, I think it's the players. And then what happens in Nigeria is very unfortunate. I've seen it in so many places. Now I'm being cautious because I don't want to say things in public. I have my feelings, I have my information about what's happening, and I think I have the solution. But basically what is behind the whole thing, not only in Plateau, all over the country, is that there's this godfatherism syndrome.
Okay.
In Nigeria, I think one of the countries in the world, if not the only country, where somebody goes to bed as a pauper and wakes up a multimillionaire. Goes to bed a nobody, wakes up the next morning, is a member of assembly or speaker or House of Reps or even governor, because people are pushing them and they're not ready. They're not ready. They suddenly wake up and they have this responsibility. It's like building, if the engineers will excuse my use of their language, building a 5-story building on a foundation that was meant to just receive only a bungalow. We now build 5 stories to crash. People who are in positions don't know what it takes, did not really prepare for it. That's the major problem, which is what I want to solve as an individual by coming out. Because you must be prepared. You must know what the office entails. You must tell people what you want to bring. For 17 months, I've been going around telling people, I have a 5-point agenda stating what I will do. I have this plan in place to educate party members that they don't have to be subservient to anybody. Belong to the party belongs to you. We'll move on. If you have such people, nobody will control them.
Bring Jagaban into the discussion as an insider. Some may say that the situation in Plateau State is somehow peculiar, because probably this is the 5th or 6th time a speaker has been removed in Plateau State. Virtually every administration, you will have a speaker removed. In fact, even the current governor of the state was also once a speaker.
The speaker was also removed.
You know, and
2003,
so
2004.
what are there any internal politics or any peculiar issues?
I think it's just
internal to.
I think it's just a matter of maybe the speaker at a particular time being trying to be over independent. Like Jide said, they removed a speaker from Ekiti State. It happened in Edo State, other places. Bottom line is, if you are trying to be independent, try to speak your mind, you incur the wrath of your boss, which is not right. Now, back to the issue of God federalism. I made this point several fora. The last one being Gote Television, if you don't mind me mentioning another house in Yola on Wednesday. I said, I want to advise governors. I have nothing against them. I have friends among governors, many of them. But don't create a monster. You are a governor today, at best 8 years. If you make it the norm that the governor is the alpha and omega, you've created a monster. When you leave, you want to continue because you think that you brought in, you will rebel. Now, Yaya Inua was Anjuma Ogoje's finance commissioner. You can imagine how governors and the commissioners interact.
Yes.
It's like servant and master. So you can imagine how subservient Yaya must have been to Goje when he was governor. Now look at what's happening. So I want to advise all governors and anybody that wants to assume to be a godfather. You're not helping anybody. Most important, you're not helping yourself. Because in a short while, you are gone. You have created a monster that will consume you. Let me ask a question. Okay. How many godfather-godson relationship do you have in Nigeria that still subsists? Aregbesola, my friend, I have to use him again. Adeoti, my colleague, ACN chairman of Osun State, was chief of staff. He was touted to be the one to succeed Aregbesola. Last minute, this man came up and became the chief of staff and then governor. Osun State was among the states that had a parallel congress at the state.
I will be taking you on what all of these things mean to the APC as the ruling party. But you know, I like that language.
Exactly.
The scope became full. But should impeachment be the way out? Aren't there other ways in which politicians, particularly those belonging to the same party, you know, and who nominally at least are supposed to be implementing the same party agenda, should there not be other ways of resolving internal crisis between them?
Thank you very much.
Someone who is going for party politics.
Now, Suleiman, some of this information I have them.
Yes.
But like I told you, I don't want to divulge because it looks as if I'm trying to criticize.
But our viewers will be interested in hearing.
I'm going. Just calm down, calm down. But with what Jide said now, that gives me the impetus, the platform to answer your question. Okay. I think the speaker displays some degree of immaturity because some of these things are, like the Bible says, everything is necessary, but not everything is expedient. Making that statement must have been playing to the gallery, and it will cause more tension. So at times, you should have just kept quiet. Tell the governor in private that, look, I know ABCD. It should have been handled. When you come out and criticize your government, your governor in public, along that sensitive line, which is very, very sensitive. Now, I want to go, I love Jos. I like drive myself to Jos. Now, that has led to so much insecurity, people cannot go. So the speaker should have been more circumspect with that kind of statement. Having said that, I don't justify the removal because two wrongs don't make a right. But like I said again, I don't want to say too much in public. God willing, when this convention is held, I believe we'll start seeing things different because you don't think that you want to help somebody and then you think that he'll be betrothed to you forever. No, it will change. So stand for the truth, stand for the people,
we have to
stand
go
for
on
a
break
better
now.
Nigeria.
We have to go on break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at the legality of the removal itself, because it is, and the constitutionality of it. It is one thing for people to gather and act. It is another for that action to be fair and just under the law. So we'll be looking at that, and then of course we'll be talking about the issues in Gombe. Thank you for staying with us. We'll be taking a break for a minute. When we come back, we'll continue with these issues. Stay tuned. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. And today we're discussing the internal crisis in the APC across the states. You can also follow us on social media via many of our discussion platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. But the legality of the removal, because like you said, for example, and maybe that question is more for a non-politician, isn't it? You know, so the legality of this act that allegedly, because no one was there, people, you know, much of the news reports have not been able to go to the depths of the issue, but allegedly it was said that only 8 out of the 24 members, that's just 1/3 of the members. How constitutional is that? How legal is that, if it is true?
You know, it's illegal. I don't have to be a lawyer to know that when the Constitution says to remove a speaker, you must have 2/3. And 8 can never be 2/3 of 24.
That's simple.
But you see, issue around.
But what if it isn't true? What if that allegation is just out there?
Nobody has been able to prove otherwise. Okay. Because at some point,
prove that it is true.
You know, first you ask, why is that the normal sitting of the House? Okay. 6 a.m. Why if you want to do a thorough job, you invite the media. You said you have the numbers. Let everybody answer their father's name. You have 16 names.
Maybe it was an emergency sitting.
No, even if it were to be an emergency sitting.
Yes.
Let the clerk be present. Let the maids be there. And reel out names. People will start. I mean, in the case of Imo,
yes,
that contention was not there, that they didn't have the number. They did have the number. But in the case of Ayuba, in the case of Noah Ayuba in Plateau, they obviously don't have the number. And Ayuba may be playing the card, believing that since he has majority on his side, he cannot be removed. It is not always so. Because one thing you need to know, Suleiman, is that impeachment is a political move. It's not a legal move. It may have legal coloration, but it's primarily motivated by politics. It's like when Simon Achuba, the deputy governor of Kogi State, was removed.
Yes.
Even the committee that was set up by the chief judge, they returned no guilty verdict on Simon Achuba. That they didn't see, the senior advocate that headed that committee said, they did not see justification for the guy. The person said, I have document to indict the governor of misappropriation. You did not call him to say, come and substantiate your claim. You just said you have embarrassed the governor and you are playing anti-party and you are impeached. Even when the committee that was set up said they don't have any evidence to the contrary that the man engaged in any act or breach of constitution. But you see, the latitude that the constitution has also given is when it says you can be removed for misconduct. Gross misconduct, it says. What constitutes gross misconduct? The explanation is not there. So you can frame up anybody under the guise that the person has committed gross misconduct. So without defining exactly what gross and when they found it convenient, they say he misappropriated money. So how does he misappropriate money? The clerk of the house is the chief accounting officer. It's not even the speaker. Is the clerk of the assembly
is responsible for the assembly's
finances. Okay. So of course he gets the approval from the speaker.
Yes.
So but when you say the speaker misappropriated, or they say it didn't carry us along, what does carry me along? What has it got to do?
I'm sure politicians know exactly what that means. So what does carry us along?
I don't know. Let me just come here by saying that. Yes. I can imagine President Boy right now feeling very edgy, wanting to interfere. But if he does, they will say it's interfering in the other arm of government, which is something I want to praise the president for. But recollect that the vice president was in Jos last week, and I'm sure something will be done. Because one thing I know I can confirm about President Buhari leadership is that he tries to make sure he does things according to the constitution. What am I saying? What am I saying? Just a minute. They're talking about impeachment in Anambra State sometime last month. Sorry, declaring a state of emergency. That does not connote that you remove an elected democratic structure. It was done in the past. And I was all over the radio saying that it was wrong. You don't remove an elected democratic structure because of state of emergency.
But going by what you are saying,
yeah,
there are many state chapters alleging that it is in fact the national part, the national committee of the party. Particularly, in fact, some states like Kwara, for example, like Kano, for example, many states are even litigating against the caretaker committee, that it is the national arm of the party that is even interfering with events at the local level. What do you say to that?
President Buhari at the national level?
Not necessarily President Buhari, but there is a party structure separate from
individuals
the president, but also, in fact, with the president.
Party issues are different.
Okay.
Party issues, the national executive is in control. They do things. Now, as the head of the executive arm, the president is different. Now, party administration and then the three arms of government, executive, judiciary, legislature, they are different. Now, if the party tries to intervene to solve problems, like I told you earlier, when I become national chairman by God's grace, all the crises we have in these states will be resolved. I made a statement, some other media, let me say it here.
But don't you think other people would say that the national ESCO of the party are trying to impose?
If you are doing,
because in some places we've seen it in the country where the party will send a list
Can I land?
Please land.
Can I land? If we do the right things and people want to criticize you, let it be that posterity will judge you right. If, for example, you call my asking for states to resolve their problems is imposition, then too bad, because I want to have peace in the party. And if one arm of one state has a problem, it's like they say the chain. The chain is as strong as its weakest links. Now, APC is weak in so many states. The chain is no longer strong. If the party now will say, okay, let me intervene in this state to solve it, nobody should complain. If they do, don't be surprised. Are you doing the right thing? Fine. Now, back to Plateau State and other states. The president wants to intervene, but he cannot come out openly to impose, because it will be like interfering, a national president of the country, intervening in the state. I'm sure he will be reaching out to them quietly to make sure they do the right thing. And I assure you that within a short time, the right thing will be done.
I would call that a campaign speech. But let's say that Gombe State, you're just neighboring from Adamawa State.
Yeah.
Why is it you keep having this issue, recurring problem, with when the former governor of the state, the former attorney general, Dan Kwambo, right? When he was there, these issues were there. The Accountant General of the Federation, these issues were there. When the late Governor Abu Hashidu, right?
Hashidu.
These issues were there. Why does this issue of power play between a sitting governor and maybe former governors or other people within the state, why does that keep happening?
Incidentally, I have a history of what happened there. It boils down to godfatherism. Because I remember Nanji Magoje was Minister of State for Power, I think 1999 to 2003. And then 2003, elections were held in Gombe. And somebody interfered from Adamawa State and got Nanji Magoje to become the governor. And then I remember in 2007, when Atiku was our candidate, I think Gombe State was the only state who didn't have a rally because he refused. The relationship had broken down. Now, sadly,
you said somebody. Who was that somebody?
Atiku Abubakar.
Okay.
Yes. Atiku Abubakar was one that went from Yola to Gombe, and General Abubakar, the REC, the National Electoral Commissioner in Gombe. Things happened, and Anjuma became the governor.
And you suggesting that there was rigging? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. You don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
Abubakar Ashidu was one that lost. Then surprisingly, by 2007, I should have come back to AC then, and Goji had gone the other way. So basically, let me borrow Fayoshe's language, stomach infrastructure.
Okay.
We have descended to stomach infrastructure as an ideology instead of having an ideology of progressives or otherwise. We have to do that. If not, we'll continue having this problem. Having said that, all this happening now is because of the caliber, the quality of people that are in positions of power, elective office. They were put in there by people. They didn't have the capacity. We do respect all of them. We do respect. But Nigeria deserves better than we're getting right now. Much, much better. And I am aware of so many things. And I've been quietly making assurances that when I get there by God's grace, I'll call an appeal. Look, do the right thing. I was chairman of the Congress
maybe before you get there, let me bring our second guest into the discussion. Mr. Jidore, he raised an important issue, particularly about ideology. You hear about ideology all the time. Everyone is saying ideology, the parties like ideology. To the common man, the average Nigerian, what would ideology mean to him? How would he understand ideology?
See, every political party registered with INEC has a motto and ideology that it professes, which is extracted from Chapter 2 of the Constitution. So, you are supposed to live and work and believe in the ideology of your party. When you say APC, All Progressives Congress, it is presumed that people in that party are progressives. And that's why they call themselves Progressive Governors Forum.
Okay.
You see? PGF, Progressive Governors Forum. The other party is People's Democratic Party. It's also about people. Democratic Party. This, I'm espousing that even from the names a party gets, you can infer what the ideology is. But even in the constitution of the party, it's clearly written, this is what we believe. It's a welfarist party, it's a capitalist party, it's a socialist party, or whatever. Look at SDP, Socialist Democratic Party. That is so they believe in socialism. So it's not more about, you raise the issue of ideology. Ask Jagaban.
I will.
How many APC members have the constitution of the party?
Okay.
Beyond the membership card they get when they register. Did they buy? Do they have manifesto of the party? So when you don't have something, how do you believe in it? It's the party itself organizing and conducting inductions for their elective members. Not the one they leave to the presidency or to the National Institute for Legislation. At the party level,
yes.
A party should, after election, those who have won election on the basis or on the platform of your party, you are supposed to have an induction for them. At that induction, if they don't have the party constitution, give them a copy of the party. If they don't have the manifesto of the party, give them a copy of the manifesto. Or ask them to buy, force them to buy, and then train them, induct them 2-3 days induction. This is what you have been elected to go and do on behalf of this party.
Exactly. Okay.
But that doesn't happen. Parties don't even assist in voter education. They believe it's INEC's responsibility. They believe it's civil society's responsibility. They believe it's media's responsibility. But who is the primary beneficiary? It's them. So I think that's where we got it wrong. There is no party in Nigeria that doesn't have ideology. It's a fallacy when they say this party lacks ideology. They do not lack. It is written in black and white in the constitution of the party. They have manifesto. But what you see, the linkage, wait, let me land, Sulaiman.
Please land.
The linkage is that even after sponsoring a candidate, don't forget, in the eye of the law, every ballot paper cast is cast for the party. not for you as an individual contestant. That has been proven in court of law up to Supreme Court.
Which is why some candidates can take, for example, Yabelo in Kogi State, for example.
Exactly, he inherited the votes of the Prince Abubakar Audu. Yes. So it has happened. Even the case of classical, locus classical, the case of Amechi in Rivers, that we have the Supreme Court said, look, all the votes cast for PDP belongs to the candidate. They belongs to the party. So when the court removes Celeste Omia, they put Amechi because it is the party you vote for. Now the party that sponsors you, the reason why we're having all these crises, part of it, not the entire truth, is that this same party, you do not use the party office as your campaign office. They go and open a campaign office separate from the party. And in doing that, they run their own show, independent of the party. They hire their DG, they do all manner of finances. But don't forget, Sulaiman, don't forget, it is the party that will even submit campaign finance reports to INEC. The party that is not even aware of how you spent the money on your campaigns. So many things are wrong with our electoral system.
All these issues that he has outlined, and in many places where political parties have structures where they form opposition or governments, these things are standard. Why are they not happening in our context? Particularly in the ruling PDP, APC in Nigeria today.
Okay, let me just answer you. Somebody would think that JD has seen
your manifesto.
Not manifesto, I just call it 5 points. My roadmap. Somebody would think he has seen it. These are things that I mentioned there. The party must claim its true position. The party will make promises, and the party must be aware of those promises and make sure the promises are kept to the later. I wish I knew that I brought my roadmap.
No, it's a discussion, general discussion.
These are things. These are things that I am aware of, and I think we need to go back there because I remember in 2013, I think there was a workshop we had in Apple, and Governor Masari was there. I was meant to present the paper on autonomy of the party. And I made a statement that, look, we do respect everybody. The party is, like it's pointed out, the party is the one that is recognized by the Constitution. When you vote for the party, not for the individual. In which case, the leader of the party should be the party chairman. At the state, world, local government, or at the national level, with due respect. Look what happened to Oshomole. His ward chairman removed him. He said, who is he? Who knows him? I'm in Abuja. No, with due respect. My first declaration was in my ward, Godaba ward in Jamaica, to the ward chairman. The party should be recognized and given its true position. So all this I'm talking about, I wouldn't want to say anything else except that we need to make a change in this whole setup. We have to change because if we continue doing the same thing over and over and we expect different results, we'll be backing up the wrong tree. We must change our thinking, must change our actions, we must change the mindset, we must start thinking, I say this word again, outside the box. Change your narratives and think outside the box for us to get this right. President Buhari means well. He doesn't want to intervene in anything. But the party must assume its true position and take full control and make sure that APC, All Progressives Congress, we're a progressive party. And some people that just think they can just jump ship should not be encouraged. With due respect, sir. I tell my friends, Awal Bamangatuku, for example, Tayo Jekede is my good friend. Tayo Jekede, he served in Yola 8384. He's a candidate of the PDP, in those states. Nothing. I said, stay in PDP. Don't be convinced to come to APC. Awal Bamangatuku, stay, don't come. Let's start building a parties where you have people that are ideologically inclined to the party and remain there, not jumping ship in stomach infrastructure. It's not allowed. It's not right.
So we will give the last say to you as we're just about running out of time. So we're heading towards 2023 elections. Your party, the ruling party, is having a convention next month. And don't also remember that you have already started losing elections. For example, the APC lost the Anambra state. A number of elections just concluded. So we don't know. Is it this kind of because this internal crisis now are more prevalent in the APC now than the PDP? Maybe because it is the party in power now.
That's the question. You answered it. It's because it's the party in power.
So how would this affect the fortunes
now,
of the party as we move towards 2020?
You are alluding me too much.
Yes.
I had you.
Thank you.
Now, it's because we're the ruling party. But let me tell you one thing, that APC has been able to resolve its problems.
Okay.
Personally, I'm not happy with what has been happening. Personally, because I know what it has cost me. For 17 months, I've been on this trail.
Okay.
Social media, regular media, consultations, campaigns, posters, name them. June 22 I started. And they kept shifting the date.
Do you think it will cost the party the election?
Okay, wait. Okay. You are evaluating me because I've had you.
Okay.
Now, you talked about losing Anambra. In the past, the story would have been that you can't embarrass the president. The people would have just given from anywhere, magically, 50,000 votes, 100,000 votes to themselves. And we told you to go to the tribunal to win your case. We saw it in the past. President Buhari refused to intervene. Having said that, the people have seen, but I don't want the APC to get carried away that the people are going to follow them. People are not happy. We must ensure that we give them cause to trust and believe us. We must ensure that. Because what you're implying is that, okay, do we have any hope of winning? I don't know, but I know that we stand a good chance because the president has done a lot for this country. A lot. And when push becomes shove, we have the right leadership at the top of the APC. These things will come to play because, for example, resolution of all the problems must be done. We just have to do it. Having a situation where you go for Congress, having parallel Congress, will not be allowed because they can be solved. Like you pointed out, this issue of direct or indirect, people are just, and I don't understand. Really, I don't want to say too much because it will divulge my secret. It will make it look as if I'm fighting against my colleagues who are in
and you have a campaign
now.
coming.
Yes,
so maybe
we'll but I assure you that
here.
Things will be different.
What he has said, he said that President Buhari has done a lot for this country. That is a question to which an independent voice must give an answer. Do you think so? In 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's right to the point that the president is not a meddlesome interloper. Under his watch, the party has won and the party has lost. And we know the president not to be the one to give directive that my party must win at all cost. So he has congratulated both the winner, even where his party has lost. And that's very, that is the standard for a statesman. But I think the president also needs to do more, even if it's to use back channel. The way he did ahead of last convention, where even the party leader then wanted to extend the tenure of the former National Working Committee. Yes. The president stood his ground and said election must hold. And that is what he needs to do. Talk to the current leadership, interim leadership, to say, go and resolve those crises in the states where there are crises. And then let's have a peaceful, one united house ahead of the convention. He's the leader of the party, so you could also give that kind of directive and it will be obeyed because he's somebody who has earned the respect of his party members.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming on the show. We truly appreciate you here, and I'm sure a lot of our readers also appreciate all your ideas today. This is where we come to the end of the show for today. Thank you for staying with us, and do join us again same time tomorrow. I am your regular host, Suleiman. Enjoy the rest of your day.